Sup, nerds? I'm your host. I go by Grandpa Cato, and welcome to the Treehouse Villains first episode. This podcast has been in conception for a long time, and now that many people in this world are home more often, as well as myself, I am still working, but just not as much. This has given me the push to see this through to completion. This podcast is about being able to nerd out with your favorite passions and hobbies and give you a weekly spot to tune in and listen about everything from being a sneakerhead or a photographer and all around nerd, which I am. Huge one. I will have a few co hosts to help cover the many different subjects we have in store for you, and also have many guests that will be showcasing and speaking about their passions or hobbies. We will have segments on entertainment and media like comics, movies, and music. I'm a huge comic book fan. I have a huge collection. Same with movies and music. I'm a huge fan of Spotify. My playlist is thousands of songs long. We can get in that another time. We're also going to cover hobbies and games like the current craze of Animal Crossing and the huge game that has been gaining more traction, Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of brands currently are using Animal Crossing to actually showcase their brands now that people are home more, but Animal Crossing has kind of just blown up into this major social kind of accepted video game about animals. Uh, so we can talk about that and how that has started to impact basically social life, and also the impact of Dungeons and Dragons has on people being social and kind of reaching out to others now that people are kind of home. I know when I play Dungeons and Dragons now, I have to actually log in and try to set up an online session. And so that has changed the dynamic of how a lot of games are played now. Uh, so let's move on. This episode is going to be pretty short. We're also going to cover segments on photography and videography. Uh, I'm a photographer myself. I have a lot of friends who are into videography. We discuss these things regularly. Uh, I do like to nerd out on photography, talking about different pictures, talking about equipment, talking about locations, and what you hope to accomplish from it. So that'll be very interesting to discuss. Have people on to also discuss their views on it and just be able to nerd out about that stuff. That's a few other segments that'll be included, but for now, we're just going over what we plan for the future. And last but not least, the hobby of being a sneakerhead and what goes into that. I am a huge sneakerhead. I've got boxes and boxes, which I should get rid of, but that's another time or another story. Um, but it's not just sneakers, because once you get into sneaker collecting, now you're trying to find a hoodie or a hat to go with it, and then it snowballs. So that is another passion or hobby, but we're going to keep on moving. Like I said, this episode is going to be pretty short compared to what we have lined up, and just introducing a portion of what you can look forward to hearing from us, Treehouse Villains. I know with what's going on in the world, things are a lot more difficult with having hobbies or passions that are harder to keep on track. You can't just run to the store. You can't just grab what you need. The things are sold out in a lot of places, and major retailers that do offer shipping online are either shipping weeks later or months, or some of the stuff is just not in stock anymore, and there is no time frame at when to get it. Uh, it's pretty difficult. But when we're used to a world where you want to get something and it's usually there in a day or two, uh, we have to be creative about where we look now or about the items that we are getting. So hopefully we can discuss a few of those options and a bunch of the different outlets to find things that you are looking for, or things to help fuel your hobby, your passion. And I know for me, I use a hobby shop in Medford called the Hobby Bunker. They do cover a lot of things. They have a lot of paints, they have a lot of books, they have a lot of objects, just a lot of things that you wouldn't think of. They do carry. So that's one of the options that you could look into if you weren't interested or you weren't familiar with those things. Now you might be, because they might carry something that you were looking for that might have been sold out in another place. uh, this will be a great place to tune in for those days you run out of things on Netflix, you run out of things on Hulu, and you're looking for something else to focus on for a bit. Maybe you're looking just to see what new can pop up or give you new ideas. I know personally that being in the house more often is a bit tough. I know for me, I get a little stir crazy, and having something to focus on to get your mind thinking a little different can help. So hopefully we can be that person or that podcast or that group. Maybe we can introduce you to another group or another person or another outlet. And that's what we're here for. We're here to kind of help you figure things out, give you a place to listen, and also reach out to us. Uh, let's have some fun. We can nerd out, geek out. Let's build an outlet for the many things that we share. Really. A lot of us have a lot of things in common. A lot of us don't have things in common, but maybe you might find something interesting that you can put together with somebody else, and maybe you might learn something that can help each other. If you're interested in having a segment or coming on to discuss your passions or hobbies or even a business, reach out to us. We have a Twitter set up under the same name as the podcast, so follow us. It is Treehouse Villains. We are on Twitter. Follow us, send us a message, reach out. If you don't have a Twitter or you're not going to reach out that way, you can also send us a message on anchor.fm/treehousevillains. That is our official site. Anchor is actually one of my sponsors. So the more people that do listen, we do get some benefits from Anchor for you just listening. You don't have to do anything else. Just listen to us, follow us, and spread the word that we are here. We plan on being here for a while. We're going to try to release a few episodes a few times a week to make sure that, we cover a wide range of the subjects we have in store. Add us to your favorite podcast site. We're available on Google. I think that link is a little wonky right now. We're having a little issues. We'll get that up and running, but we are on a bunch of different other sites, Radio Public, Breaker, and such. We are on Spotify. So check us out. Follow us. Make us a favorite. Star us, however it works. And you can look forward to a lot of stuff in the next coming weeks. We do have a few co-hosts that will be on. I do have a co-host that will be discussing comics and movies. That'll be fun. And then we do have a few musicians that are going to be coming on to talk about music production, what their process is, and what their hobbies are, and how that reflects into their music or their process of music production. Let's see. I want to finish this up. Like I said, this is going to be a pretty short episode than what we usually will be planning on, but this is just to get us out there, let you understand what we're here to offer, what you can plan to listen to. And I want to finish this up by saying thank you to all the amazing people working in the supermarkets and hospitals and the many places of business that we rely on to help keep moving life forward. This pandemic has been tough for everyone. A lot of people have been losing their jobs. A lot of people are home more often, and things are not as easy to get in the stores. So we have to be thankful that we do still have people in the stores working, and that there are people that are still trying to help us move forward. From everyone at the Treehouse Villains podcast, thank you and stay safe. And I wanted to say thank you for being a listener. Take care, guys. Peace.